What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 16, and we're starting today's episode off by seeing that Norwich have agreed to match the £2 million counter offer we asked for Igalo, and also that Southend once again rejected a bid for their young goalkeeper Daniel Bentley. Of course, after we sold the Lithuanian goalkeeper, I did say I wouldn't mind getting a third choice in. Bentley would be a decent player to come in, but I don't really want to pay £1.4 million. £1 million would probably be the maximum amount I'll pay, so I offer that, and we'll wait and see what Southend say. And also, of course, you saw there Igalo's transfer offer of £2 million was met by Norwich, so he looks like he's on his way to Carrow Road. I know he scored again yesterday in real life, and he's had a great start to the season in the Premier League in real life. But in the game, he's just not really done the business for me. He has scored 3 goals in his last 2 games, admittedly so, but they were in the Cup, and to be honest, he's still yet to score a goal in the Premier League, and quite frankly, I think we'll be doing better without him and getting some money into the club instead.
If they're going to do well here, Manchester City, and obviously they hope they'll do well, he could make the difference.
And it's his ability in the air, Martin, I think that the opposition have got to be wary of today. They won't want to see too many crosses coming in.
And we take on Manchester City for the first game of today's episode here in the Capital One Cup semi-final second leg. Now, of course, we beat City away at the Etihad Stadium, a fantastic 2-0 victory in the first leg. So coming into this game, really the message I was sending to the players was this: don't concede any silly goals and allow City back into this tie. So I need to be really secure at the back in this game. First chance would fall to City. The danger man Wilfried Bony goes pretty close there, but the Ivorian's header goes just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. And another good chance here fell in the 19th minute, but this time to us. Ruben Loftus-Cheek wins the ball back here, sprints down the right hand side, picks out Bertrand Traore, lovely little fake shot, but a great stop by Caballero as he turns his finesse shot behind for a corner. So he scored in the first leg to open the scoring against City at the Etihad, but there he was denied by Caballero. Once again, a good stop by the goalkeeper there as Deeney goes pretty close, but it was still 0-0. And in the 26th minute, another good chance for City to get themselves back in the tie. Navas finds Bony, but Jack Butler makes a great save, and Fernando's follow-up header goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0 in this game. Another good chance in the 41st minute for us. We swing in this corner, Caballero comes for it, doesn't deal with it properly, and Loftus-Cheek's volley goes harmlessly wide the post and behind for a goal kick, but it was still 0-0. But in the first half, quite a few chances for both sides, pretty action-packed first half at Vicarage Road. We weren't sitting on our 2-goal lead in the tie, we were going in search of a third goal to try and kill the tie off, but it was still 0-0. But 5 minutes after the restart here in the second half, Navas whips in an absolutely fantastic cross, and you heard Martin Tyler and Alan Smith talking about this guy pre-game. Wilfried Bony, the danger man, getting on the end of this cross by Navas. What a great ball in it was by Navas as well, down the right hand side. And Bony, they talked about his aerial ability as well, funnily enough, does get on the end of the cross, heads it past Jack Butler, who has absolutely no chance. It's right in the top corner, and it's Watford 0, City 1. So City back in the tie and in front in this game here at Vicarage Road. They didn't really do too much after that until the 85th minute when they won themselves a corner here. It comes back to Navas after we failed to clear with it. De Bruyne plays it inside towards Hamsik, and the strike goes wide the post and behind for a goal kick. And that was that. In the second half, City did not do anywhere near enough the required amount to get themselves back in the tie. They may have got themselves a goal through Bony, but it wasn't to be enough. We hold on for a 1-0 defeat, if that makes sense, because we do win the game 2-1, sorry, do win the tie even, 2-1 on the aggregate scoreline. So we are through to the Capital One Cup final. I am absolutely delighted about that. It's funny, you know, I talked about it before the season sort of started, really. Well, the season has started, but, you know, in the first few episodes, if you will, I talked about the Capital One Cup, and I said I wasn't really fussed about it at all, to be honest. But now we're into the Capital One Cup final. Like, yeah, of course I'm fussed about it. It's going to be the biggest game of the season, so it's funny how that works out. But either way, really pleased to get through to the final. And once again, you know, it's just a show of EA's lack of, you know, ability, I suppose, to try and code in that teams need to become more urgent in the second half in trying to get goals on the board when they're trading on aggregate. Because in the second half of that game, yes, they got themselves back in the tie with that 1-0 goal through Wilfried Bony. They just didn't do anywhere near enough. And it was, don't get me wrong, like, I'm pleased to be going through to the Capital One Cup final, but I thought I'd be under a lot more pressure. Still, following out, we see that Igalo has indeed packed his bags and joined Norwich for £2 million. And also, Southend accepted a bid of £1 million for the young goalkeeper Daniel Bentley. Maybe a bit over his valuation right now, but of course, he's got room to grow. He's a decent young prospect, and I'm happy to get him into the club if he does sign the contract, which I'm sure he will do. And with Igalo going as well, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know he's doing really well in real life. I've said that quite a few times times now, so I promise to shut up about it now. But in the game, like, he just hasn't really done the job for me. You know, yes, of course, he has scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, but they were in the cup, and quite frankly, no goals in the league in the first half of the season. He did get quite a few chances. He just wasn't doing the job for me. I'll try and bring in a replacement, and of course, don't forget we do have Charlie Austin coming in on a pre-contract next season, so he wouldn't have got much more game time past this season anyway. Still, we take on Southampton for the second game of today's episode here away at St Mary's. First chance fell to the Saints, but Jack Butler made a really good save and turned the shot onto the post. Butler in inspired form already this season, looking like a great signing from Stoke City, and his follow-up shot from Gaston Ramirez goes wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. But in the 37th minute, some sad news for us as Southampton go down the right-hand side. Dusan Tadic whips across into the centre, and Britos does really, really well to head the danger clear and keep it at 0-0. Southampton look to try and get a head on that at the near post and flick it goalwards. But sadly for us, Britos, despite winning the header, does hit the deck and fall awkwardly and does get himself an injury and is forced off as Hoban comes on as a replacement. So Britos, you may have just noticed, West Brom put a bid in for him. We counter-offered. It was almost likely going to be matched, or at least I would say so it was going to be matched, because we only asked for the valuation, and sadly he's now injured and has to leave the pitch. So keep a close eye on that one, but it was still 0-0 regardless after the substitution was made. But in the 45th minute, another good chance for Southampton. Jay Rodriguez goes down the left-hand side and whips it across to the centre. Graziano Pella wins the header, but the Italian is denied by another good save by Jack Butland. And at half-time, as you can see, Southampton really were all over us, dominated possession, 6 shots, 3 of which on target, but Butland was the guy that was keeping us on level terms. But just past the hour mark, how about this? I brought Levy off the bench for Deeney to try and give us a different option up top. He wins the ball back here, and Stephen Corker just pushes him to the floor as he's going through one-on-one. And I was literally, I mean, seriously, I genuinely dropped the control at that moment, thinking, how on earth do you not give a penalty for that? And the follow-up corner comes in, the header is straight at Stecklenburg. I could not believe that the referee did not give a penalty for that one, because Corker does get the ball behind for a corner, so of course he puts contact on the ball with his foot, but he just pushed Levy down. You know, that's got to be a penalty, at least in my opinion. The referee said no, and it was still 0-0. And later on in this game, Southampton had a couple of great chances to take the lead and surely win the game. First, Wanyama spurns his opportunity, and in the 85th minute, once again, we see Jack Butler make an absolutely fantastic save to deny Jay Rodriguez and keep it scoreless in this game. So still 0-0 as things stood. Final chance, Southampton once again fell here in the 89th minute, but once again, I'm singing the praises of my young goalkeeper. That is a brilliant, brilliant stop by Butland, and he keeps the score scoreless, still goalless in the game at 0-0, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score at St Mary, Southampton 0, Watford 0. No surprise that a lot of the camera focus was going on Jack Butland. He had a fantastic game for us between the sticks. 11 shots for Southampton in that game, 5 of which on target. Had more possession than us as well. And as you can see, no real surprise. The man of the match did go to Jack Butland, who kept himself a clean sheet thanks to a string of fine saves. So final score 0-0. We've still only lost 3 times in all competitions this season. And how about this after the game as well? I mentioned Britos a minute ago. West Brom decided to retract their offer for Britos due to the fact he has now got himself an injury. So I thought that was really cool. I've never seen that in FIFA before, and that is saying something. I haven't seen that ever before in FIFA. I don't know whether it's a new thing or not. Maybe it's not, but I've never once noticed it before. Because Brito's got himself an injury, West Brom decided to retract the transfer offer they put in for our centre-back because he is now on the treatment table. So I thought that was really, really cool. I've never noticed that before. Genuinely never noticed that before in any saves I've ever done before. So let's just make up a story and say that he failed a medical or something. But either way, Brito's will be staying because he is injured and he'll be out for 4 weeks. It's a bit of a shame because I wanted to get him out of the club, really reduce the wage bill. I'm not playing him too much, but sadly, West Brom don't want to take a gamble on an injured player. Still following out, Bentley declined his contract. He wants more money, so we give him 10 grand a week like he asked, which is fine for me. I only put in a low ball offer just in case I thought he might accept it, but 10 grand a week is nothing anyway for a third choice goalkeeper. I'm okay with that, and he's got some good potential as well. And also we put in a loan offer for Kennedy as well. Now we have lost Igalo to Norwich. Wouldn't mind getting ourselves a backup striker, but of course, because Charlie Austin is coming in next season on a pre-contract, don't really want to sign anyone to a permanent deal. Kennedy coming in from Chelsea would be totally fine for me. I know what his overall is to begin with. It's a 70, and him coming in would be fine on a loan deal. Only 20 grand a week, not too much for a decent starting overall striker that's only 19 years old. So Chelsea accept the loan bid for Kennedy. Bentley accepts his follow-up contract. So we make 2 signings right there to begin transfer deadline day off with. Bentley coming in on a permanent deal. As you can see, 68 overall, 22 years old goalkeeper. And, you know, maybe I did spend a little bit more than he's worth at £1 million, especially as his contract was up at the end of the year. But he's got the GK long throw trait, which I love. And he's a third choice goalkeeper on only 10 grand a week. And, of course, he's got potential to grow for the future as well. And he's English too. So I'm happy with that signing. I'm not fussed about the fee I paid. And also for Kennedy coming in on a 1-year loan. That gives us more cover for Igalo. Looks like a pretty decent backup striker, possibly to come off the bench or play in those cup games. And I'm okay with that because, of course, Charlie Austin is coming in on a pre free contract deal at the start of next season, so Kennedy really is just here for cover. Still following out, we put in a bid for Danny Rose of Spurs, and I'm a big fan of Danny Rose. I really do rate him. The 25-year-old left back from Spurs, would love to get hold of him. We put in a bid of £5 million, I think it was, plus Holibaz. Spurs said no. £4 million plus Holibaz. Spurs said no. They asked for £8.8 million, I think it was. I can't really read the text on the screen, it's so small. But I put in a bid of £6 million plus Holibaz regardless, and they came back to us and said yes. So Pochettino says, if you want, you can take Rose for £6 million plus Holibaz, and I thought this would be an amazing deal, because Danny Rose is going to tick 3 boxes. Number one, he's English, and I know that's a bit of a trivial thing, but it really does make me a bit happy when I see I'm signing players from the same country as the club, just because that's something I've always liked to try and do in my career modes. I like to keep a tradition of that sort of thing, really. And the second box he'll tick is that he's got first team quality. He'll go straight into the first team and improve the first team quality. He'll be our highest rated left back overall at 77. And the third box he's going to tick is that he's also got some potential for the future as well. He's 25 years old, so he won't grow too many ratings, but he still could possibly hit 80 at some stage. So Rose coming in ticks 3 vital boxes for me. He comes in and he's matching the criteria that I discussed in the first few episodes of this career mode. Rose comes in for £6 million plus Holibaz, who was decreasing, really quickly anyway. In the first few months, he's already gone down 2 ratings. He started off at 77, he's now at 75. So for £6 million plus Holibaz, that deal to me is really, really good. I think that's a great deal right there. Okay, maybe we didn't exactly need him. It's not like the left back area was a crisis for us. Holibaz was still doing an okay job. We've got Nathan Ake here as well, good young player on a permanent deal, because he's actually on loan from Chelsea, but on the game he's registered permanently, and also Target's on loan from Southampton. But to me, I thought that deal was really, really good, and I'm very, very happy we have got ourselves Danny Rose into the club. So 3 signings coming on deadline day. Daniel Bentley from Southend for £1 million, Danny Rose for £6 million plus Holibaz from Spurs, and also Kennedy arrives on loan from Chelsea on a 1-year deal just to provide some cover after Igalo left the club. And as you can see, these are the negotiations on the final hour of the transfer deadline day. Who did what? You saw United sign Tielemans there, how about that? And also the latest deals and the top deals of the window as well. That does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you can put another 2,000 likes on this episode, I will upload another episode of Career Mode later on tonight. The support you guys have shown on this series so far has been absolutely fantastic. So to reward you guys, I'm going to give you the possibility of a quadruple episode upload weekend. 2,000 likes and I'll upload the second episode of Career Mode later on tonight. So thanks for watching this video. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed it. 2,000 likes for another one later on tonight, and hopefully I'll see you for episode number 17 later on tonight.